we don't know where he went.
I
went we found this girl named Kate, and she talked to us about the Adventurers Guild, which I guess if you do like a certain amount, I can't remember what happens, but you need to do a certain amount to like, I guess, I'm trying to think of what it was.
You guys get to do a couple missions, then you get to become a full-fledged member of the Adventurers Guild.
That's what it was. And we found some drunk guy, and we talked with him for a while. I can't remember what his name was.
John.
Yes, Jonathan.
It was Goofy.
Jonathan, yuck.
Yes, we talked with Jonathan to get some more information about things. Mm-hmm. And we took on the adventure of finding someone's cat. And we completed that. And then where we left off was in the church with Hamlet and Claudia, the girl that obsesses over Hamlet.
Yes. Yes. Good old Claudia. So, in that lieu of things, I'm sorry. Go on, Smitty.
Wait, we went from killing a giant bone dragon to chasing cats.
Yes.
I feel like we're doing Skyward Sword in reverse.
In between that.
Yes, we did. Well, they did. You were on a different adventure, but they did go find a cat. That's what they did. They found a kitty cat, and that was great. And then from there, you guys were talking with Claudia for a bit about some fun stuff, and she asked some proposing questions about how Prince Hamlet, is somehow going to be king, supposedly and allegedly going to be king instead of Captain Prince Harold. And you guys had that fun little chat with her. Some hypotheticals, some theory crafting, maybe you could call it. It's the word of the day. Uh-huh. And so, completely off topic, Winslow, what is going through your mind right now on everything happening and all the information you guys have? What does Winslow think is going on? What's his whole idea of what's happening?
Winslow's not really sure about anything as per usual. He finds it a bit weird that she's saying that Hamlet's going to be king over Harold. Mm-hmm. And is just unsure about the circumstances.
Right. That's fair. I would say that's very fair. And it is odd. Very odd indeed. On a different note, since we all have witnessed and lived through the last stream, who's your favorite NPC you met last week?
Agatha. Without a doubt.
Jonathan.
Jonathan. We all love Jonathan.
Or the one old man that sold things during our trip.
Yes. Weird old man.
Yeah.
Such a name. Such a name. Fair. Harbo, did you have a... No, he didn't. He's just a weird old man. Haribo, did you have a favorite character from last episode? That's fair.
Haribo found an animal he doesn't like? Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you defended Poopy.
That is fair. That is very fair. All right. Well, with that being said, let's jump on in because we got a little bit of a shorter session tonight. So let's go. But where you guys left off, as Winslow so kindly updated us with, you guys were in the church and I lost that map. There it is. You guys were in the church and I believe Miles was the only one based on our previous perception checks, because Winslow and Harbo just had church dust in their eyes, that was making direct eye contact with Hamlet. And could you three, Harbo, Winslow, and Miles, make another perception check for me? You did, but that was 2 weeks ago. You're good.
There it is. There's the technical difficulty. Let that be the Because Haribo is too pure for this world.
I would recommend a nice, pretty refresh when in doubt. Roll20 be like that sometime. And I'm sorry for my hiccups. Anyone who is privy to hating hiccup sounds, I'm doing the silent hiccups.
Wasn't it episode 2 where like the entire website was updating in the middle of the stream?
Yeah.
And we had to like just cancel it. That sucked.
Yeah, that happened. Yeah, it was a tragedy. But push comes to shove. What I normally do when I'm not streaming D&D and I'm playing D&D and, you know, on this personal level games, I tend to, we end up playing flash games that require, like, in regards. So, like, the last session I had with a group of friends, we actually went fishing with the Emperor's son. We just kind of kidnapped him, essentially, and went fishing on this boat. And then we all just played just some, like, good old, like, .io fishing games. That's what we did while Roll20 kind of busted. And then it went back up.
How do you know you're in a D&D campaign? Because every single piece of royalty will be abducted by the player group.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, we didn't know it was the Emperor's son. He was like running away from his guards, and we're like, who's this fancy looking kid? Clearly these guards don't know him. And then my brain in the jar, named Steven, told us that it was the Emperor's. It was the Emperor, actually. It wasn't even his son. It was the Emperor itself, who was just this man-child, essentially. It was a wild time. Last session, that campaign was wild. But we just went fishing. And that's about all that happened, was we went shopping and we went fishing. My character's apparently really good at fish, because I think I ended up making 369 gold. So, which is a crap ton of money in that world. So I essentially went from actual peasant to god when it comes to cash. Oh, goodness. All right.
Oh, no.
Nope.
What about Miles?
All right. Miles did. Miles still saw. And Winslow, you look over and you finally see what Miles was staring at, which was Hamlet, and making direct eye contact. And both of you see his gaze just kind of shift over to the left. Well, your guys' left would be his right. And he's just staring there, kind of looking. A small smile just kind of cracks on his face as he stands up for a minute. And he's just standing and looking that way. And Zeminiar then walks from around the corner.
Yes.
So on your guys' screen, he'd be like over here. And he comes into view. And from there, you see Claudia just kind of scurry down the hall. And she's like running to him like, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, my fault. And she's just all disheveled and so upset. And he just looks at her and he's like, you're an hour late, my dear. I'm heading to my room now. Good evening, all of you. As he walks past you, Zeminiar in particular, and heads right on up to his quarters. And you all are then greeted together again in the church.
By him?
Yeah.
Where were you, Zeminiar?
Oh, sorry. I kind of got lost in the city, but I ended up here because I knew this is where to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're one to talk. Have you been in any weird places with blood lately, Miles? Uh-huh. I looked over that book again, by the way. The one that doesn't involve blood sacrifices? We'll talk to him about it later, maybe. For now, what's on the to-do? Getting lost in the city, maybe had a couple of drinks. I tried to start a fight or two, but really no one's willing to fight. We've already fought enough. I did lose. And oh, but like you would ever let me forget, Miles. I wouldn't say every way. I'd top you any night. That means you're paying attention. Good boy.
And Claudia's just gonna stand there just like practically in tears as she's just ignoring whatever you guys are saying. She's like, I made you guys dinner. It's your room. It's there. If you want to eat it. No, I failed him. And she just like runs back towards her quarters and just leaves. And she just dramatically takes her exit on stage left. And she's out for the night.
And she has no idea how late she is.
Do you guys go back to your quarters? Okay.
Yeah, I go back to my quarters.
Yeah. So you guys all go back to your room. Your nice cozy